You have interviewed a lot of people in your career. The one interview that went around the world, and seismic is an overused phrase, is the one with Prince Andrew. Looking back on that now, does it still feel as big as it did back then?
If you'd said to me that 5 years on, I would still be seeing daily headlines about it around the world, I would not have believed that. Because we're still talking, not specifically about Andrew in that interview, but about the ramifications of it. And I think in strange ways, it did start to reshape or realign parts of the monarchy. And so I think the thing that has stunned me is that I'm still sort of trying to understand what effect it's had over a kind of longer period. It felt at the time, it was like one interview in 1 hour of 1 week that we almost nearly didn't do. You know, it was nearly snatched away the night before, it was nearly cancelled. And the fact that it seems to be sort of, just kind of realigning things in a really curious way at the heart of the British monarchy is something I cannot get my head around.
And the weird thing about it was that he thought it went quite well.
He thought it went really well. I know that because we do, what we call sort of B-roll in the business, which is like the walking shots, the talking shots, the sort of stuff where you kind of take the camera and you go, let's do a little tour, let's do a bit of this. Anyway, we save that till afterwards, which is always risky, because if somebody thinks an interview's gone badly, they just want you out of there. They chuck you out and that's it. He was so generous with his time. We did the walking shots in the palace. He showed me where his mum, the late Queen's office was. He takes me up there and he stops in front of this statue of Prince Albert and he goes, Emily, next time you come, we'll talk about entrepreneurship. It's fascinating. He was the great entrepreneur in our family. And I wasn't hearing anything about Prince Albert. I was like, next time, wow. And so that was how I knew it had gone quite well. And he thought it had gone well. And actually, it was the Queen herself, we understand. And it's a weird thing because you don't have primary sources, obviously, in the royal family. You're never going to get a phone call from somebody. But we started piecing together the jigsaw of what had happened. And the story that came to us was that on the Saturday, it was going to air on Saturday evening, on that Saturday morning, she had read the transcript. She'd never interfered. She'd never called up anyone at the BBC. I mean, proper respect in terms of, free press and allowing the press to sort of function. But she'd called him at his straightforward shooting weekend, lunch, and he took a phone call, and that was the last we saw. That certainly the guests and the people on the shoot didn't see him again that weekend. And so that was my sense, that he went into the rest of the week thinking, job done.
There was a job done, but it wasn't the right job.
Yeah.
Yeah.